Well, hello, race fans. Whenever you may be watching this on the Mason and Racing videos page, we are back with another interview. And shout out to the sponsor, Kramnik DD Meats out of Medina, North Dakota. Now, if you're not sure where Medina, North Dakota is, if you're traveling west on I-94 towards Bismarck, just in between Bismarck and Jamestown, off of I-94 is where you can swing on into Medina. Mainly a meat and butcher shop, but as I've seen on their Facebook, they've got a lot of sweet goodies in there too. They had some fantastic caramel rolls. They have fresh produce, so you can swing on in and check out all the food and delicious stuff that they have. Thank you so much to Joe, Melinda, and the whole crew for supporting all these interviews. And be sure to stop on in if you're passing through Western North Dakota at Kramlik DD Meats. And for today's guest, we are going over to Minnesota, going over to Willmar and talking with the number 27 X Hornet driver, Hailey Borer. How are you doing, Hailey?
Good. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good deal. Are you enjoying well, right now I'm not in the Midwest right now, so is the weather decent this weekend?
All right. Better than most days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've had a pretty mild winter, so to speak,
Yeah.
and so not much to really complain about, I guess.
Yeah, it's been pretty nice.
Now, you're in the midst of your senior year of high school, so I'm curious, what's kind of been the main thing that's been keeping you busy over the off season?
A lot of just getting ready for college, finding the classes I need to be in, all sorts of things like that.
Okay. Yeah, and so you're coming off your second year behind the wheel of a race car, and this will be your third season coming up. I'm curious, what was the main itch to get behind the wheel of a race car?
So back in 2020, when COVID was happening, me and my dad had nothing really going on, so we decided we would start going to watch races in Wilmer for fun on Thursdays. And we started going every Thursday, became a regular thing. And then in 2023, he randomly was like, "How would you like to race some Hornets?" And I thought he was joking. I didn't really think seriously of it because I was like, "Oh, that's not going to happen." But then the next day, we were looking at cars on Marketplace and kind of just all happened from there. It was very fast.
Yeah, I was just perusing through your Facebook page, and so I believe it started like June 2023, and
Yep.
then within 2 weeks you're already at the racetrack all set to go. So that is pretty quick.
Very fast. But I didn't want to fall
Yeah.
far behind in the season since I was starting pretty late. But
Well,
yeah,
that's okay. It's good to get out there whenever you're able to get out there, and honestly, probably coming out in the middle of the season is probably good because then you kind of get everyone else kind of like their cars underneath them, so to speak, and kind of have a feel for it.
right. Yep.
So you mentioned obviously KRA Speedway and Wilmer is kind of your home track. Where else do you typically race, or have you tried out some different tracks beyond there?
Yeah, so I usually do Thursdays at KRA in Wilmer, Fridays in Montevideo at Fiesta, and then Saturdays at Madison. That's usually what I would do every week in the summer.
Yeah, and so you got three tracks within a pretty close distance, so it's kind of nice to kind of just bounce from one to the other without having to travel quite a bit of ways.
Right, yeah, that's always been pretty nice because there's so many people that have to travel so far, so many nights a week because there's no tracks around them. But yeah, we're pretty lucky here to have a lot of close tracks by.
Yeah, and over your first year to your second year, what would you say has like been the main differences or the kind of the main challenges that you kind of experienced over that first year or so?
I would say a lot of it would be just the confidence part, coming from no racing background or anything like that. So it was all super new to me and my family, and we were just trying to figure it out and navigate how it all works, I would think would have been the main thing.
Yeah, and obviously just kind of getting that seat time is just so vital and so important. So more laps on the track, you kind of get a feel and you can kind of push it a little bit further each and every single time, I suppose.
Yep.
When I saw from like year one and year two, was that a different car as well?
So in the first year, I was racing an '03 Mitsubishi Eclipse. And then I ended up selling that after that first year and switched over to a Chevy Cavalier just because it was really hard to find parts for the other car because they weren't very common for racing. So we figured if we switched to a very known car that a lot of people race, it'd be easier to get help with motor stuff and things like that.
Yeah, I remember seeing when your first couple of races, I'm like, dang, I haven't really seen that body style of Hornet.
Different, but I did like that car a lot. I think it was a really good first year car. So then I ended up selling that to a girl who lives like near the cities who wants to race, and she also no racing background or anything like that. So it'll be exciting to see if she gets it out there this year.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's good to kind of like pay it forward in a sense too. And cool that another racer that doesn't come from a racing background, which I like. I'm glad that you took your dad's word on getting you behind the wheel of a race car. Because yeah, at first, if like my family did that, I at first would think that they were joking because they're like, no, they're just kind of playing with me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when he brought that up, I was like, oh, no, I'm good. Like, but yeah, it happened fast. We just figured it out, started looking for cars, and a couple weeks we were out there.
Yeah,
And
that's a lot of hard work to get a race car like
right,
ready for one race night, let alone like starting from scratch and
right.
then it's like all of a sudden you're at the track.
Yep, it was very fast, but it was exciting. It was a good thing, I think.
Was it just you and your family that was kind of doing all the setup and everything to get the car ready to go, or did you have a bunch of people that kind of helped you out?
No, so it's mostly just been me and my family doing it all. Because before racing, we didn't really have or know anybody that was racing. Like, we didn't have any racing friends or anything like that. So joining the racing community was really great because everybody's so helpful and willing to help out, especially younger kids too. A lot of the older generations of racers are very like helpful to the younger group, which has always been nice.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that people like, especially if they're newer racers, they really want to kind of help them, like, kind of move along, kind of encourage them along the way. And so that's good that you've developed a really great support system. And it's easy to see when you look at like just the sponsors on your car and then the kind of the people that are around your pit area. It's good to see that you've grown a nice following.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, and as far as well, actually going back to last year, so getting a new car, kind of working out the bugs here and there. I know you had some troubles with engines, but I hear that there's some different plans in the works for that this year.
Yeah, so last year was pretty rough. I think my motor blew in that car about 5, 6 times. So it was a lot of wrenching in the shop every week, getting it ready for the next week and all that. And it was very stressful, but hopefully this year I had it sent out towards Bemidji to get rebuilt. And it's actually supposed to be done this week. So my fingers are crossed that it stays for longer than all the other ones did.
Well, I guess the positive side of it is now that you're kind of an expert on engine rebuild and kind of installing and uninstalling, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny because the first time we had to ever take out the engine, it was like it took us hours, and now we can just get it out in 45 minutes. It's the stuff you learn is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you want to learn that stuff, but you don't necessarily want to learn it like as quick as you did necessarily.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good for a learning process. It's good to know how all that works. So, but hopefully this year the motor can stay in or more.
Yes, yes, totally agree with that. And I assume, is it the same car going into this year as well?
So this year it'll be the same car and everything, just changing a few things around and hoping for the best, I guess.
And then what's your plans as far as the 2025 season go? Any specific goals that you want to set or any specific places that you're looking to run more consistently?
I was hoping to run more at I-94 this year because I've heard that it's such a great track, especially for Hornets to get them going. And because I tried out Viking last year and I didn't like it that much, I had a little crash there. So, but I'm thinking I-94 would be a super fun track to get some seat time in.
Yeah, and I-94 is fun too because especially with Hornets, you kind of get a mixed bag of like whoever may show up. So some nights you like have like 10 to 12 cars, but then some nights it's like you have like 20 to 25, and so you have a definite good group of drivers to kind of race against and kind of understand how they race. And so I recommend it. I-94 is a fun place.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out there a couple times. Everybody's always bugging me. They're like, you need to come over to Fergus and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, I try. But yeah, I'm hoping to get out there some more.
Yeah, and I suppose, well, obviously school is kind of the main focus is until probably end of May, early June. Do you participate in any other activities outside of racing?
I do not. I did do volleyball for all the way up until my junior year last year, but I just kind of decided it wasn't for me anymore and I just wanted to focus more on school. So now it's just racing and school that's keeping me busy now.
Oh, believe me, the racing itself, it's enough to keep a person busy every day of the week. Even as a video guy, I've learned that it You can put a lot of hours into the sport.
It is crazy. People don't see that a lot, I feel like, too.
No, no, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes of everything, and the fans or anyone else that just shows up to the racetrack, you may only see like 5 to 10% of like what actually goes into getting the car to the track.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. And while we got a second, I know you have quite a list of sponsors and people that help you out. Feel free to give them a shout out here if you like.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we have Nick Mosier with Preferred Roofing, who is like my main title sponsor. They've helped me a lot with different cars and parts and just helping me get to the track every night. And then I have a lot of those littler sponsors too, like Foamtastic, Bulletproof. I partner with a nonprofit called Casting with Caleb, which is a family based in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and their son actually passed away from an ATV ditch rollover when he was 11. But he loved anything with motors, just like dirt bikes, quads, things like that. So I get to partner with them, and they take kids who don't have like a father figure in their home out fishing and things like that, just stuff that their son likes. So that's a big part of my car, I think, because people will come up and ask what it's about, and then I get to explain it to them. So that's one that I really care a lot about on there.
Excellent. And repeat that name again? Catching with Caleb or
Oh, casting with Caleb. Yep.
casting with Caleb? Okay. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a really cool organization.
Yeah.
Well, great. And I know you have a really nice scheme that you got put together. I believe that was Dom and Rob that put it together.
Yep.
Got a cool scheme in the works again for this year.
Yeah, they're actually getting my new one ready this year. And it's going to be pretty similar, just a tiny bit, a little tweaks here and there. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they print out for me.
Yeah, and of course we're closing in on the end of March, and so we got probably about a month left, a good solid month before racing kind of kicks going around your area, unless you decide to go up to Fergus Falls at the end of April.
Yeah,
So still got a little bit of time.
yeah, yep. But yeah, we'll just see. I want to get out to the Fergus opener, but that's in like 4 weeks. So we'll see how close we get by then.
Yeah, I so my mindset is like I'll take any extra time I can get to get ready and try to finish up anything or kind of look things over and get some ideas on what I want to do before the season starts. But once May hits, it's like, okay, racing season's here. I'm all focused.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Well, awesome. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to get to know you a little bit more. If you race fans and anyone who's watching want to follow her racing adventures, Hailey Borer 27X Racing on Facebook is where you can find all of her updates, and she posts quite a bit, and so you'll always be in the loop.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yep, thanks so much, Haley. Looking forward to seeing you here in this next 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.